Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Nasir Jones drops Magic 2. He dropped it Friday, and it is a follow-up to his unexpected drop back in 2021, which was Magic, and that Magic was well received. A fantastic display of lyrical tenacity, to say the least, that gave somewhat of a resemblance to Nasty Nas era with Magic 1. So this was the follow-up to that, which I thought was that's a heck of a follow-up to try to do. It could be risky. But I gotta say, upon, after listening to Magic 2, I have to admit, I'm very impressed with this album. I thought Hit Boy did a masterful job on the boards and his production. Sonically, the album just slaps, and Nas rapping and lyrical prowess on this album was phenomenal. Now, as far as comparing the album to his predecessors, his previous 4 predecessors, I'm gonna get to that. I got something to say about that. But what an impressive run by these two individuals, Hit Boy and Nas Escobar. I'm gonna just get right to it, man. The album is has 11 tracks. One intro track, I don't need to discuss that. That was Don Juan, the pimp, and he was just talking his his talk about how hip hop he is, and has like a backdrop of some type of like Charlie Chaplin music or whatever, magical music or whatever behind his his civility. Track number two is Abracadabra. Now this set the album off. This set it off. Nas come out the gate spazzing ferociously. The production, the beat, Hit Boy, the drums on this entire album is legendary. Hit Boy's production on Abracadabra is just different, man. It's just a different vibe. It's a different vibe. He's in a zone. They're both in a zone. Nas was in the pocket this whole album. Abracadabra, I give it a 4 stars. I really did like Abracadabra. The third track was Office Hours featuring 50 Cent. Once again, I like the beat. I like the build up. I like how Nas just kind of, his flow just kind of owned this track. He just took it over from beginning to the end. It flows through. Nas is in the pocket. He's talking about, basically, the little things he's been through, the industry wise, about some people that, I guess he calls Fugazis, but he's using a reference of Fredos, a bunch of Fredos in the family. I don't know what that means, but I mean, I know what Fredo is if you watch Godfather, but I guess those type of funny style individuals that Nas is highlighting and just kind of talking his talk. Now 50 comes in, and when he comes in pretty strong. I did like what he was saying. You know, he's 50. He's aggressive with it. He's funny, clever, wordplay. The only thing I would have to say about 50's verse is that it was too short. I mean, come on, 50, come on. You know, give us something. But what he did, you know, as a bridge to getting back to Nas, kind of closing that track out, which is a fantastic track in its own right. So I'm going to say Office Hours was for me, a 4 mic song. 4 stars. I give that 4 stars as well. Black Magic. Now, Black Magic, when I first heard Black Magic, I kind of liked the beat. I liked where it was going, where Hit Boy was taking it. The hook on there is fantastic. Kind of have a Memphis vibe, and Nas did his thing lyrically. He did his thing on this as well, and he's kind of like that. I guess there's kind of like a story within it. He's talking to a lady or a lady friend of his, and giving you just giving you rundown, giving you game. But I thought it was a fantastic track. Once again, I gave this track a 4.5 stars. It was that good. The beat was that good. It had me doing the WAP. I was actually doing the WAP. So, you know, it was that great. It was a good, nice, catchy beat that I was vibing to. Had a nice vibe to it. Track number 5 was Motion. Hands down, right off rip, best track on the album. Best track on the album. That was the track. That was the money maker. Definitely could see that being a single. Definitely. Matter of fact, out of the 11 tracks, I think like 7 or 8 could be singles. This album is so good. It is that good. Moving right along. Bokeem Woodbine, the great actor that played in Jason Lyric, Caught Up, that was in Tupac's video, I'm Not Mad at You. Very underrated actor, very esteemed actor. Bokeem Woodbine, another excellent track. I think that arguably could be one of the tracks that gets a lot of attention, gets a lot of traction. I think it could be a single as well. Nice pace to it, nice tempo, good vibe. Nas is just spitting. Nas lyrically, I'm gonna say it right now, Magic 2 is probably the most lyrical album out of the 5 albums that they dropped in 3 years. And that's saying something. Lyrically, this one is on point. And production wise, Hit Boy's on another level. I mean, he's in his own zone creating sounds, and his ear is just fantastic. So moving right along to Irvin Magic Johnson, a monster of a record. This track had that West Coast vibe. They're gonna love this in the West Coast. He's talking about Magic Johnson. He's paying homage. He's talking about Pat Riley, making reference to that in comparison to his latest run, to Nas' latest run. It's like 5 championships So he's kind of married, tying in all that as far as his latest run with Hit Boy. Basically saying, look at my team. That's what I got. But Earvin Magic Johnson, this track could be another single. It's definitely going to play in the clubs. It's definitely going to play in the streets. This is hot. I'm gonna give it a 5-star track. And I know I said that Motion was the best track. Did I rate Motion? Motion was probably a 5. Next track is What This All Really Means. Nas is going in his bag. He's giving you a visual. This one I felt was more personal about the story he was telling you as he was rhyming, and he's going into, talking about his album I Am, all the bootleg that was going on to that and how that hurt him, and then how he was having a conversation with Nipsey Hussle in regards to having a docu-series made about that situation, and Steve Stout was going to be involved. So unfortunately Nipsey was murdered, and we all know the story after that, but I really enjoyed What This All Really Means. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 4 stars. Slow It Down was a nice change of pace track, nice vibe, kind of got an old school flair, feel to it, very soulful, very nice little vibe that you can kind of drive to. You're in your car, you just kind of vibing. I like that track a lot. I'll give it about 3.5 stars. Pistols on Your Album cover, very creative. I like the sample, the KRS-One sample in there. I thought it was very, very nicely placed in the album. Sonically, it slapped. Nas did his thing again. Lyrically, Nas is at his. It's hard to say, man. He's like, man, he's back in his prime. It's like he's having a second win, and but his rhymes are flawless. But Pistols on Your Album cover was definitely a nice track. This whole album, and then you have One Mic, One Gun, which 21 Savage as a deluxe cut track. I kind of like that. I'm not mad at that being there at that particular selection as a bonus track. It still kind of fit in. I see what they were doing with the album. It didn't take it away. It didn't really add, but it didn't take anything away either. So I guess it was just an average track, and you got 21 Savage on there doing this thing. So overall, I give Magic a strong 4.5 Mike album, in my opinion. Very, very well-rounded album. I think this was probably Hit Boy's best production on the series between Magic and KD3. I think this might be his best production, but slightly, but it holds its own. And right now, as I've been listening to it, I give it a slight edge over KD3 and Magic, and that's just what my opinion is, and that's just what I hear right now. I've put it on shuffle. I've played it. I rolled through it several times. I put it on shuffle, and I still come with that same conclusion that this is arguably one of the best albums out of the 5. So that's all for me. Hope you enjoy the album. Pick it up, run it back, run the numbers up, stream the numbers up. Nas did his thing once again. He's definitely showing his GOAT status is right now unchallengeable. Thank you for tuning in. Mahfoud Chakadir and Game Network. Peace.